view backed up by the facts. Here are Emily's views.
I must tell you that the matter I prepared to talk with you about this morning in my views, that has to be sidelined for the moment because there is a very touching story on the front page of the Observer. And this story has really resonated so deeply with me that I think I should share portions of it with you. And more importantly, for us to realize how emotionally and mentally precarious the situation is for a large number of Jamaicans at the moment. It wasn't lost on me before the hurricane hit. And I think I mentioned yesterday that being an active member of this society, I realized that we were being caught up in many instances by a string emotionally sometimes. I could sense, I could feel the pain and literally have to decide every second, what can I take on now without losing center, without losing focus because of all that was happening. And I chronicled in a way for you yesterday the series of issues that have bombarded us in the last 5-6 years. And we could go back much farther than that, but I think COVID, which affected the entire world, also affected us. And then on top of that, because of where we are economically, the inflationary pressures that were brought by all of the external issues that played out in the impact on the price of goods and services in Jamaica. And then the burial, which even though the massive impact in relation to burial was sort of localized to portions of Western Jamaica, all of us are not isolated from whatever it is that is felt in Western Jamaica. So the country became part of this sort of frenzied move. Not only did we and do we see St. Elizabeth as being impacted as the breadbasket, but we literally carried the pain of the people in St. Elizabeth in Manchester who were impacted by burial. And then with all of the flood rains that we had and the unprecedented sort of rainfall, and then to be knocked in this way nationally, but more so west of the island by Hurricane Melissa, people are not coping. And people are not coping, especially when you are above a certain age and you believe that there is no or not enough time to start over. Then there is a way in which whatever threads were holding us up mentally and emotionally, we can either view Melissa as the pair of scissors that has cut the thread, or for those who have been able to have the great optimistic fervor, we can see it as a chance to start over again, irrespective of our age. But there are a lot of people who are choosing the former and to whom we need to reach out and to reach out quickly. So the story on the front page of the Observer this morning by Tamoy Ashman says, for Maxine Campbell, a care package meant nothing. All she wanted was for someone to ask, "Are you okay?" But no one did. As she sat on the veranda of a destroyed shop she recently completed in Retrieve, Hanover, on Wednesday, Campbell's heart was heavy and her mental health in shambles. Scenes from Hurricane Melissa that ravaged a section of the island on October 28 haunted her memory. In a cry for help, she stretched out her hand and called to the observer team as the team traversed the area. "I have a pressing matter to tell you about," Campbell said, pleading with us to stop and hear what she had to say. "I was here yesterday, Tuesday, and believe me, I went to bed last night and I feel bad." Why does she feel bad? She tells us government agency come and nobody cared. They only care about giving us flour and sugar and rice to eat. Believe me, them come here and I stand up there so. And I was here. I'm in hear one of them come to say to me, "Mommy, are you okay?" None of them, she said, shaking her head in disbelief. According to Campbell, while she didn't want to sound ungrateful for the relief packages, she'd hoped the first responders would have come with empathy and encouragement. A little kindness, she said, would have gone a far way, instead of meals from seeming cold hearts. It's not just about flour, sugar, and rice. We went through it, she said, her voice breaking. A whole heap of people I go through it. And just to ask me, "Are you okay?" None of them. They behave like they are better and top class because they work for a relief agency. I want to tell them it's not about flour, sugar, and rice and piece of tarpaulin. The people them are suffer mentally, said Campbell as tears formed in her eyes. You think it easy to know, so you develop your business and you look for it to turn over, and by the time you blink, it disappear? Campbell said she's particularly concerned about her elderly neighbor who's been working non-stop to get her house back in order. I watched her. Tuesday, she hung out clothes. Wednesday, she hung out clothes. Every day she hung out clothes, and she a senior citizen. She's a returning resident. I sit down there and I say, "You know, so she's strong." She go up there. She have to go up there, help her, hang up, take up, push out water. Every morning the first thing we do, I pull the window, I look up there to see if I see her, because I know one morning she not go get up because of stress, Campbell told the observer. Them no care. Them just carry the food, go put down to give people them to rush the food. It's not about the food. Just to ask, "How are you doing?" That's all we want. We don't want no rice or flour. I tell them I will work for what I want. I will go down to the supermarket, go buy it. Just say something to me that would give me hope. Just say something, man. Campbell pleaded as tears rolled down her cheek. Campbell, a poultry farmer, said she lost more than 70 chickens when Hurricane Melissa's strong winds destroyed her coop. Though it's been over a week since Cat 5 hurricane rocked Jamaica, the Hanover native says she keeps reliving the events of October 28. I still hear the breeze in my head. Me still hear it, believe me. She said her voice was heavy as she wiped her eyes in a way that would make one think she was trying to erase the memory of the zinc leaving the roof and her elderly mother screaming in pain. Campbell said her mental health further deteriorated when she visited Cascade, a small community about 2 miles from her home. She said she took a few steps into the community before the sight of the destruction caused her feet to weaken, unwilling to carry her further. When I reached a part of the road, I had to stop and get a garlic and a bottle of water. I felt as if I was in Haiti with the earthquake. Me just see Haiti, she said, sobbing as more tears rolled down her cheeks. Campbell pleaded for empathy and urged people delivering packages to show a little love to those who were affected. She said a member of the JDF was the first and the only person to show her empathy. According to Campbell, the soldier paid her a visit on Tuesday and again on Wednesday, and she was grateful for his kindness. They need to do more of that. They could give these people flour, sugar, and corn. But they are damaged mentally. Believe me, them damaged. Take it from me. You think it easy to sit down and hear my mother scream? She hurt her hip in the storm. She not able to walk. You think it easy to hear the breeze and see the ceiling a dance, the house a shake, and hear her crying out? As she cry out, I saw the breeze a blow. I saw the house top a go. Sugar, flour, and rice can't help that. It a go take time and encouragement to keep we true. She said to make matters worse, many elderly residents in the surrounding communities were not able to receive care package because they had to travel far distances or battle crowds of people seeking to get aid. And the story goes on. And this is the reason. This is the reason I have called for familiar faces to go, especially in rural communities, because we know our people. When we go to our people, we're not just giving them food, we're bringing back a piece of us to leave with them. And the lady is absolutely right. If we're giving, and if we're not giving from a place of love, in fact, if we don't have it, we can't give it. And the people will feel exactly where it's coming from. So it seems that the greatest void at the moment is not so much the space for food, but there's a space that people need for love and for empathy. So you see, these trips, they cannot be rushed. And this is why it's everybody who needs to be on deck. Time right now needs to pause a bit. So if we go and we can't spend the time with each person as is needed, we have to be careful that we're not damaging them further, because when we leave, they're leaving with the impression that we don't really care. It's a difficult thing, because I don't think there's one person I've met who is unscathed mentally and emotionally by this disaster. I cannot tell you how many very mature men have gone to their rural communities, especially in Westmoreland, and have called me bawling, literally bawling on the phone. Emily, I don't know what to do. Did you see this? Did you see that? And these are genuine tears. And it's not like they're just talking and in the middle of that is like something triggers them. And they're literally bawling. But I get it. And I think it's when you go where you have grown up and you see and you feel the pain of Miss Merkel, you feel the pain of Masty, you feel whatever. That is when you go back for every bag of thing that you bring. You are packing in that bag love. Yeah? Because the people feel it. And as a result of this, I think every mission that is going, as I heard the health minister some 4 or 5 days ago spoke about the need for psychosocial intervention, and they're now making it a part of the thrust going forward. But even the people that we are choosing to go into the communities, make sure you understand your community people. And so the people who are going in there, see if they have the right synergy, the right energy to take to your people. This is why this thing is not only about government and state agencies. We know our people. We've got to step in and we've got to touch their souls because they're bleeding. And if we don't do this right, the sense of brokenness that is all over the country, it will become unmendable. So we can build a grand superstructure on top of a broken emotional system, which we do not want. Our people need hope. We have to choose the messengers well and make sure the messengers are populated internally with the intangibles that are necessary to get a people not to see the log that is on the road now as obstacles. But we've got to have a vision of what we will make our country by the ways in which we will give people the hope to move all of these things without even feel as if they're sweating or exerting a lot of energy in the process. That's what hope does. This is what revival is about. When you let them be so fired up about the end result, the vision of the end, and not to focus on the picture that is there at the moment. Yeah? And this is why, people, you will know when you've been called for the moment. You will know when you're not weary in the moment because you're not seeing the image that is there now as the final picture. You've got an image of what the end result is. And we can only get to the picture in the end if you're able to touch the lives of Miss Campbell and the thousands of other Miss Campbell and the thousands of Mr. Campbells out there who are just dying for somebody to ask them, are you okay? And then on top of that, when you ask that question, make sure you have the time to hear the answer. Because some of us don't even ask wanting to hear. Talk less and listen more. And let us go manufacture empathy if we don't have it. Let us cultivate love if we do not have it. We've had great examples of what love looks like. Go back to those examples and find it to give to our people. And I repeat the call once more for people who come from rural Jamaica. Get into your local communities. Your people know you because you grew up with them. You're supposed to have love for them, and they need to feel the love. You are going to be the vessels and the instruments of hope for them in this extremely difficult time. Those are my thoughts for the moment.
Join us next time